It had been a Saturday of getting the house in order. Katie learned that she could help Mom sort the laundry by putting all the white clothes into one pile. Orbie found out that Dad needed someone to light bulb fetch when he was on the stepladder. And they both discovered that tidying up their bookshelf took two friends, one to keep the books standing up and one to put the books back that they had read. When Katie and Orbie were done with their chores, they headed out of their bedroom to find adventure. And they found it. It was waiting for them upstairs in the linen closet. Mom had pulled out all the things they didn't need or use anymore, and that left an empty space at the bottom of the closet. Katie and Orbie stopped at the same time when they noticed it through the open door. The space was just large enough for two best friends, and so with a giggle, they crawled in. As they huddled in the closet, Orbie told Katie that with the door almost closed, it felt exactly like a bear's cave. Of course, Orbie had never been in a real bear's cave, but if he had, he imagined it would feel a little like this. Katie growled at him, and that started the whole game off. They would pretend they were bears. Katie, who was curled up with Orbie, pointed out that the floor was a bit hard and they would be more comfortable if they had a little something soft on it. Orbie agreed. They crawled like bears all the way to Katie's room and grabbed her quilt, and together they dragged it back and made a nice, comfy place. It was so comfy in the closet that the two bears would have stayed there all day except for one thing. Orbie's tummy rumbled. Burbling, Orbie explained that they were settling down for a long winter nap. They'd better eat first. Katie growled, and that meant right. The two bears tumbled along the hall and padded down the stairs. They sniffed the air. They made their way to two humans who were very surprised when the bears growled at them. Mom told Dad that she'd better give the ferocious bears a snack or they might eat her up. Upstairs, Chance sauntered by the closet and happened to notice that Katie's soft, comfy quilt was lying on the floor all bunched up. Chance felt sure that Katie had left it there just for him, so he crawled in and curled right up for a cat nap. On the kitchen floor, on their hands and knees, the two bears pretended to catch fish in the stream with their paws. When they caught enough, Orbie took them berry hunting around the kitchen. Mom told Dad he was a bit nervous because the bears were so hungry. She really didn't want to get eaten up. Soon Mom had prepared a perfect cave takeout snack for the hungry animal. She popped some cheese and crackers into a little plastic container and gave each bear a juice box. As the bears ambled up to the cave, Chance continued to snooze in the closet. And when he heard Katie and Orbie giggling and coming along the hall, he quickly jumped up to the first shelf and tucked himself away behind a pile of towels. Chance watched as the two bears growled and crawled into the closet. Chance was very surprised, as you can imagine. The two bears arranged themselves around their snack and got ready to eat. The Katie bear growled to the Orbie bear that maybe they should wash before they had their snack. They didn't really know how bears washed, so they did it the way they'd seen Chance do it. Orbie made Katie laugh as he really licked his hand. Soon the bears were all clean and ready to eat. Orbie pulled the closet door closer to them so that no other bears would try to sneak in and steal their food. Bears had to be careful. Katie popped open the snack container lid, and the wonderful smell of cheese drifted up. It drifted up so high that Chance got a wonderful whiff of it. Katie arranged a slice of cheese on a cracker for Orbie and handed it to him. Chance peeked over the edge of the shelf, unnoticed by Katie and Orbie. He watched as Katie picked up another piece of cheese and put it on her cracker. Orbie burbled that Bears have to be very careful not to attract other bears because they might come in and take over their cave. As Katie lifted the snack toward her mouth, Chance leaned down from his shelf and stepped onto Katie's shoulder. Katie was in mid-munch when she felt something strange on her shoulder. And certain it was other bears, real bears, she jumped up and shrieked in fright, throwing the rest of her snack up in the air. It didn't go far. Crackers and cheese bounced off the bottom of the shelf and fell on Orbie's lap. Orbie was so startled by the shriek and something strange landing on his lap that he jumped and bumped his head on the first shelf. Chance was shocked at all the noise and shot through the partially open closet door and down the hall. Mom and Dad raced up the stairs because although bears had been making weird bear noises, these noises sounded like something else. When they arrived at the closet, they found Katie laughing so hard she was wiping tears from her eyes, and Orbie rubbing his head laughing too. Mom asked what was going on in the bear cave. It was hard for Orbie to burble and Katie to speak, but between them they explained about the cave visitor and how Katie for a second imagined that it really was a bear and not a cuddly pussycat. Well, everyone laughed except for Chance, who had had the fright of his life. Mom helped pick up the crackers and cheese. She told Katie her imagination had run wild, and for a moment she really believed it was possible for a bear to be in the linen closet. Katie smiled because Mom was absolutely right. The two friends brought Chance back to the closet to show him there was nothing scary in it. Chance was glad to see that. Soon, two bears and one cat really did have a winter's nap. Maybe not an all-winter nap, but a little nap just the same. Katie and Orbie often laughed about how scared they had been when her imagination ran away with her. And I hope if that ever happens to you, that you'll have a good laugh about it too, just like Katie and Orbie.
Dogs can be more than family pets. Some dogs actually have jobs. There are dogs that help the blind as seeing eye dogs. Others work on farms or with the police finding missing people. You never know. Maybe your dog is a crime fighter in disguise.